Alright, continuing with our prep of the month, which is tools, let's talk about chopping tools. Axes, hatchets, machetes. What you see here is probably the most basic layout that you'll need in an SHTF situation as far as chopping tools go. You're going to have to process wood for cooking, maybe for warmth. Hopefully you're not in an urban situation where that's not a possibility. If you're at all in some sort of suburban or rural situation, these are the tools that I hope you already have on hand for such a thing. And probably the most important thing to talk about here would be the wedges. Everybody knows, or everybody thinks they know, how to use an axe, how to use a hatchet, how to use a machete. But a lot of people don't know much about wedges. You see here, you got your metal wedges and your plastic wedges. And everybody knows what a wedge does, but do you know when to use a wedge? Let's say you're chopping a tree. And understand, I'm not going to give a tutorial on chopping trees here. There's probably some of those already on YouTube. But very basically, when you're chopping a tree, or maybe you're trying to chop a log that's already down in half, or cut a limb off of a down tree, depending on where you make the cut and where the weight of that tree or limb is going, there's going to be tension. And the tension is what ends up getting people hurt or killed when that limb or that tree goes the wrong direction from where you thought it would go. Let's say that whether you chopped it down with an axe or a chainsaw, you make your pie cut in a tree, you're going to fell a tree, you would use these plastic wedges on the other side when you make your cut, opposite of where you want it to fall, so that you can start pushing the tree in the right direction. Why are they plastic? Because if you hit them with your chainsaw, you're not going to hurt anything. You don't want to go possibly hitting a chainsaw onto that. What are the metal ones for then? Well, mostly they're for processing wood. You could take a sledgehammer and a couple of wedges like this, small wedges, and you can do a good job of processing wood. But I really suggest you get a couple of these, especially if you do plan on using chainsaws, at least in the immediate SHTF, or even just for normal processing of firewood and cutting down trees. These things can really keep you from getting hurt. And they're cheap. Hatchets. I really like a roofer's, I don't know if you call this a roofer's hammer or a roofer's hatchet, but I really like these things. They do double duty as far as I'm concerned. Duty. And then this machete. This is my machete from the Marine Corps. This is the one it was issued in JEST. That's Jungle Environment Survival and Training, and that I did not turn back in. I've had this thing for a long time. And now I want to show you a really interesting chopping tool. Look at that bad boy. That is something my dad had. Obviously, it's just been laying around for a long time. It's I think a broad axe or a hewing axe. It's also for processing logs. Man, it's heavy. I think just for fun, when I have nothing else to do, when I'm resting, as my daddy used to say, I might try to clean this up and see if I can fix that edge and maybe turn it into something. But that's for processing logs. All right. Like I said, this is the most basic that you're going to need for chopping wood. You may want to have better axes, more hatchets. You can always have more wedges. And if you can't find these, you can make these out of wood in a pinch.